In an age when goodness, light, and peace prevailed, and all races lived in harmony and unity, an ancient darkness of Middle-earth begins to awaken once again. To confront this threat, all races gather at the Temple of Stars to devise a plan against the approaching shadow. Brave warriors composed of elves, dwarves, wizards, and men must rise to protect the sacred Heart of Aeloria and embark on a perilous journey through darkness to return it to its rightful place.
Once, the lands of Aeloria basked in eternal light, but now the skies darken. A shadow stretches across the horizon, whispering of Virathar's return. The balance of the world trembles. From the corners of the earth, the messengers ride, their task urgent and dire. In their hands, glowing scrolls summon the races of Middle-earth to the Temple of Stars. Under the shimmering night sky, the Temple of Stars rises like a beacon of hope. Its spires reach for the heavens, as if begging the stars for guidance. In the grand hall of the temple, leaders of elves, dwarves, and men gather. Their voices rise in heated debate, but one truth unites them all. Darkness cannot be defeated alone. From the shadows of the hall, the elven seer steps forward. Her voice echoes like a song of the stars as she speaks of the prophecy. Only those bound by fate can restore the heart to its rightful place. Alara the healer, Kale the warrior, and Torek the rogue step forward. Their voices steady and resolute echo through the hall as they vow to carry the heart to its destiny. With hands outstretched, the council blesses the chosen three. The glow of ancient magic binds them together, a fellowship destined to face the trials ahead. As they depart into the night, the seer's voice follows them. Beware, for the gaze of Virathar reaches farther than you know. As dawn breaks, the companions bid farewell to the temple, their hearts heavy yet hopeful. They step into the vast unknown, where safety is but a memory. In the heart of the whispering woods, every tree seems alive, every shadow a threat. Faint voices, neither human nor beast, echo in the distance. From the shadows, Virathar's minions strike, a pack of shadow wolves with crimson eyes. The fellowship fights with desperation and newfound unity. The wolves are defeated, but the companions are shaken. Torek mutters, "This is only the beginning." Alara heals their wounds, but not their doubts. The fellowship reaches the river of whispers, its black waters flowing eerily silent. A broken bridge forces them to find another way. As they ford the river, unseen forces drag Torek underwater. The others pull him free, but he whispers, "I heard it, calling my name." Night falls, and the companions find shelter in the hollow of an ancient tree. The air is heavy with unease, and sleep eludes them. Far away, in his obsidian fortress, Virathar smiles. "They are strong," he murmurs, "but strength alone will not save them." The air grows heavy with ash, and the ground beneath their feet is blistering hot. A deep rumble shakes the earth, warning of unseen perils ahead. From the molten rivers rise the lava serpents, slithering creatures of molten rock and flame. Their fiery breath scorches the air as the companions ready their weapons. Cale charges forward, his blade slicing through the fiery beasts. With each swing, he carves a path, shielding Elara and Torek from the serpent's wrath. As the serpents fall, Elara uses her magic to cool the blistering ground, creating a safe path forward. Her light pushes back the suffocating heat, offering a brief respite. The ground trembles violently as a massive fissure opens before them, spewing lava. "We must jump," Torek shouts, leading the way across the perilous gap. From the flames emerges a fire wraith, its body a swirling inferno. "Your journey ends here," it hisses, its voice crackling like burning wood. As Cale and Elara struggle against the wraith's firestorm, Torek sneaks behind it, plunging his enchanted dagger into its core. The wraith lets out a piercing scream before collapsing into ash. As the firelands quiet once more, the companions press forward. Torek smirks. "If this is the beginning, I can't wait to see what's next." But even he cannot hide his unease. At the edge of the fireland stands the Forgotten Keep, its towering walls cloaked in darkness. Torches flicker weakly, as if the fortress itself resists their light. From atop the battlements, Virathar's sentinels patrol with glowing eyes. "We can't fight them all," whispers Cale. "We'll have to sneak inside," replies Torek with a sly grin. Torek leads the group to a hidden tunnel beneath the fortress, its entrance concealed by tangled roots. "Old keeps always have secrets," he says, his dagger glinting in the dim light. Inside, the air is cold and damp, carrying the faint sound of whispers. "It's as if the walls themselves are alive," mutters Elara, her light trembling against the dark stone. In the heart of the keep, they find the orb of eternity on a stone pedestal. But as Cale reaches for it, a towering stone golem awakens, blocking their path with a roar. Cale clashes with the golem, his blade ringing against the unyielding stone. Meanwhile, Elara channels her magic to weaken its ancient bindings. While the others distract the golem, Torek sneaks behind it, finding a glowing rune on its back. With one swift strike, he shatters the rune, and the golem collapses into rubble. As Elara holds the orb of eternity, it pulses with light, revealing a vision of their journey ahead, a labyrinth of shadows, and Virathar's fortress looming in the distance. Beneath the jagged peaks of the Black Spire Mountains, the entrance to the Labyrinth of Shadows yawns open, its massive stone gates etched with ominous runes. The orb pulses faintly, urging them forward. As they step into the labyrinth, whispers surround them, taunting, pleading, warning. "It's not real," Elara says firmly, though her trembling hands betray her fear. The labyrinth twists and shifts behind them, closing paths and opening new ones. "It's alive," mutters Cale, gripping his sword tightly as walls grind and move. Each companion is confronted by illusions from their past, lost loved ones, moments of failure, and unfulfilled desires. Torek whispers, "It knows us too well." Elara raises the orb, its light piercing the illusions. "We are stronger than this," she cries, her voice shattering the spell. The shadows retreat, but the labyrinth grows angrier. From the darkness emerges the Mintharak, a shadow beast with glowing eyes and tendrils of darkness swirling around it. Its growl shakes the very air. "Only one shall leave," it hisses. The companions fight as one, their attacks coordinated and fierce. Elara's magic weakens the beast, while Kale and Torek strike at its core. "Together we stand," Kale roars. With the Minthorak defeated, the labyrinth trembles and crumbles. The orb reveals their next destination, a towering spire in the distance, bathed in golden light. After escaping the labyrinth, the companions travel across the Emerald Plains. The golden spire looms in the distance, its light cutting through the haze like a beacon of hope. As night falls, shadowy figures emerge from the tall grass, stalkers sent by Verar. Their red eyes gleam in the darkness, and their growls send chills down the companions' spines. Kale and Torek hold the stalkers at bay, while Elara uses her magic to summon a barrier of light. "Keep them back!" she cries, her voice trembling with urgency. As the first rays of sunlight pierce the horizon, the stalkers retreat, unable to withstand the dawn's light. Exhausted but victorious, the companions continue their journey. The Tower of Luminalis stands before them, its golden walls shimmering like liquid sunlight. An inscription above the entrance reads, "Only the pure of heart may ascend." Inside, the companions face their first trial, a bridge of golden light suspended over an endless abyss. "One misstep, and we fall forever," Torek mutters. At the top of the spire, they encounter a riddle etched into the walls. "Only the truth shall open the path," Elara reads aloud. Together they solve the ancient puzzle. As the riddle is solved, the tower erupts in golden light. A vision appears, a path through the mountains leading to the Heart of Aeloria. "The way is clear," whispers Kale. The frost-bound peaks rise before them, their snow-capped ridges gleaming in the pale sunlight. The cold bites deep, and each breath feels like shards of ice piercing their lungs. The silence is shattered by a thunderous roar. An avalanche cascades down the mountainside, forcing the companions to run for their lives. "Move," Kale shouts, his voice barely audible over the chaos. A fragile ice bridge stretches across a deep chasm. Torek tests it cautiously. "It'll hold if we don't look down," he mutters, leading the way with trembling steps. From the icy shadows emerge frost-born minions, twisted beings of ice and shadow. Their chilling howls echo through the peaks as they charge the companions. Kale plants his feet firmly, his sword glowing with heat as it slices through the icy forms. "You will not break us," he roars, his blade melting the frostborn with every strike. Elara channels her magic, creating a glowing dome of warmth that repels the frostborn. "Stay close," she calls, her voice steady despite the storm raging around them. Their battle won, the companions press on, climbing the final icy ridge. The wind howls fiercely, and each step is a battle against the unrelenting cold. At the peak, they find a frost-bound altar. The orb glows brightly, revealing their next destination, a great valley bathed in twilight, where the Heart of Aeloria lies hidden. The companions begin their descent into the Twilight Valley, where golden light and dark shadows dance together in eternal conflict. "It's beautiful and terrifying," whispers Elara. As they tread deeper, a suffocating silence envelops them. Even the sound of their footsteps feels distant. "This place, it's unnatural," mutters Torek, gripping his dagger tightly. In the valley's heart lies a still pond, its surface reflecting not their faces, but moments from their past. Kale watches himself as a boy, clutching his father's sword for the first time. From the pond rises the guardian of the valley, a towering figure of light and shadow. Its voice echoes, "Prove your worth or perish in the void." The guardian creates shadowy doubles of the companions. Kale faces himself, his reflection speaking his deepest fears aloud. "You will fail them," it sneers. Elara raises the orb, its light burning away the shadows. "We are stronger than our fears," she declares, her voice cutting through the darkness like a blade. As the shadows fade, a subtle voice echoes through the valley. "Not all of you are true." The companions exchange wary glances, distrust creeping into their hearts. The guardian, satisfied with their resolve, reveals the final path. Ahead lies the resting place of the heart. Be warned, even here, darkness dwells. Before them lies the resting place of the heart, a glowing sanctuary carved into the valley's cliffs. Golden light spills from its entrance, pulsing like a heartbeat. Blocking their path is the dark vanguard, Virathar's elite warriors clad in obsidian armor. Their leader, a towering figure wielding a shadow-forged blade, steps forward. Kale charges forward, meeting the leader's blade with his own. "Go!" he shouts to the others, sparks flying as steel clashes against shadow inside the sanctuary. Elara and Torek find themselves surrounded by shadowed figures. Torek's daggers flash as Elara's magic lights the room, scattering the darkness. At the sanctuary's center rests the Heart of Aeloria, glowing with a light so pure it makes them pause in awe. But the air grows heavy as a dark force approaches. Emerging from the shadows is Virathar's champion, a monstrous being wreathed in darkness. "You are too late," it hisses, its voice dripping with malice. Kale, Elara, and Torek fight as one against the champion. Kale's blade glows with light, Elara's magic shields them, and Torek strikes swift and deadly from the shadows. As the champion falls, Elara reaches for the heart. It pulses with radiant light, sending a wave of power that clears the sanctuary of darkness and reveals their next trial. The heart glows brightly in Elara's hands, its light pulsing in warning. "It feels restless," she says. Torek narrows his eyes. He's coming. The sky darkens unnaturally, clouds swirling with crimson and black. A deep rumble shakes the earth as distant shadows take form, moving toward the sanctuary. From the horizon emerges Virathar himself, wreathed in shadows. His voice booms like thunder. "Fools, you think you can defy me? I will tear the light from your souls." Kale draws his blade, its edge glowing faintly. Elara steadies the heart, and Torek disappears into the shadows. "This is it," Kale says. "Our stand begins here." Virathar's forces clash with the companions. Kale holds the line, his blade cutting through shadowed forms, while Elara's light burns through the darkness like a beacon. Torek sneaks through the chaos, slipping past Virathar's minions. He spots a glowing crystal channeling dark energy and throws his dagger with deadly precision. With a roar, Virathar unleashes a wave of darkness, throwing the companions back. "You dare defy me," he bellows, advancing toward the heart. As Virathar reaches for the heart, Aelara channels its power. A blinding wave of golden light erupts, forcing him to recoil. "This isn't over," he growls, retreating into the storm. The companions march through a vast expanse of desolation. The Temple of Stars glimmers faintly in the distance, a beacon calling them forward. "We're so close," Kale murmurs, his voice steady despite the weight of the journey. The path leads to a narrow pass, its walls jagged and broken. As they move cautiously, the ground trembles, and massive boulders collapse, blocking their way. From the shadows emerges an ancient figure, an elder of the elves, cloaked in starlight. "I have awaited your arrival," she says. "The heart must reach the temple. But beware, he will stop at nothing." The elven elder leads them through a secret path, winding through the peaks. "This way will take you to the temple unseen," she says. Yet the air grows colder and the shadows deeper. As they near the temple, Virathar's forces descend upon them in a last desperate ambush. Shadow beasts and dark warriors flood the path, their eyes burning with fury. Kale holds the line, his blade blazing with light. "Go, I'll hold them here," he shouts, fending off wave after wave of attackers as Aelara and Torek press onward. At last, Aelara and Torek reach the steps of the Temple of Stars. The entrance glows faintly, its massive doors etched with celestial runes. "We're here," Aelara whispers, clutching the heart tightly. As they open the temple doors, a shadow falls over them. Virathar, his form twisted with rage, appears in a burst of dark energy. "You will not succeed," he roars. The companions step into the Hall of Eternity, where the stars themselves seem to swirl in an endless dance above them. At its center stands the altar, glowing faintly, awaiting the Heart of Aeloria. A deafening crack splits the air as Virathar appears in a storm of shadow and flame. "This ends now," it snarls, his voice echoing through the temple like thunder. Aelara places the heart on the altar, and it bursts into radiant light. The temple trembles as ancient glyphs ignite, and a voice whispers, "The final trial begins." Virathar lunges at the heart, but Kale intercepts him, their blades clashing in a blinding display of light and shadow. "You won't have it," Kale roars, forcing Virathar back. As Virathar summons a shadow storm to engulf the heart, Torek leaps onto the altar, blocking the attack with his own body. "You'll have to go through me," he growls, his daggers flashing. Aelara reaches out to the heart, its light merging with her own magic. Her voice echoes through the hall. "By the light of Aeloria, I banish you, Virathar." A beam of pure light pierces the darkness. Virathar lets out a deafening roar as the light consumes him, his shadowy form unraveling into nothingness. The storm outside fades, and peace begins to return to the land. The Heart of Aeloria glows brightly as it settles into the altar. The glyphs fade, leaving only a soft hum of peace. "We did it," whispers Kale, his voice filled with awe. As the companions leave the temple, the first rays of dawn break over the horizon. The world, saved from darkness, glimmers with new hope. Yet, in the farthest reaches of shadow, a faint echo of Virathar's laugh lingers.